It feels so nice to be back in Southeast Asia. We are currently in an island called Phu Quoc, which is to the southwestern coast of Vietnam. And Phu Quoc is the epitome of island life in Vietnam with that laid-back atmosphere, beautiful nature.
This is the most beautiful beach on whole Phu Quoc.
Abundance of seafood and quieter roads and with a lesser population as well. So in this episode, we're going to find out how different it is, Phu Quoc compared to the rest of Vietnam. It feels like we're in Europe, in Italy or something, to see what island life is all about here in Phu Quoc. So let's go explore. So we're starting today with a proper breakfast. So a lot of people when they come to Vietnam, right, they usually eat pho or bún chả right away. But then because for us, we've eaten a lot of times already, so that's why this time we're going to start something new, which is a local delicacy here in Phu Quoc called Phu Quoc, which is kind of like a seafood noodle soup. I think we're both super hungry, so let's check it out. So this right here is Phu Quoc, which is the seafood noodle. Inside there's a lot of different kinds of seafood. There's like a seafood paste and also squid inside. Wow, our dishes just came and it looks very appetizing because, you know, Phu Quoc is an island, right? So there's an abundance of seafood wherever you go. And of course, the noodle also has some specialty as well. So you can see here, we've got some squid and I believe that is a seafood paste mixed with noodle soup.
Every time we come to some random restaurant and Justin always asks, no spring onion, no coriander. So that's why his plate looks a little bit not authentic like Vietnamese usually eat, with a lot of greeneries. Yeah. But I love spring onion, so this for you.
Looks good. And look at that. Wow. There's a mixed different kind of seafood inside, no? They must have seafood, like fish, shrimp, after they mash
This is
into this
shrimp.
one. Yeah, it's tasty. I like it. Do you like it? We just finished eating and now next step is to go to an ATM to withdraw some cash because everything in Vietnam, cash, no card. This bank, Viet Bank, usually charges lowest commissions, that's how I always come.
Yes, medium here.
Just now we pay for food, right? It costs 165,000. When you're in Vietnam, when you pay for food like this, it's like 100,000. You always make me feel like, oh, my wallet hurts. But it's actually in reality, it's not that expensive. Because like every 100,000, we usually remember it's like it's $4. So we're actually currently in the town of Duong Dong, which is the main touristy central town of everything. Pretty much this is the most modern, most developed, and also most accessible part of the whole entire Phu Quoc. Just because you pretty much have everything you need from a variety of restaurants that are international, like, you know, just now we saw Indian, Korean, Russian. There are many different cuisines, they're all in this place. But at the same time, also not lacking a lot of authentic Vietnamese food as well, like, you know, the banh mi, the pho, and the noodle place we went to just now. There are a lot of these authentic Vietnamese places that are very delicious as well. And apart from that, there are also a lot of mega malls, like the one behind me. This is always another one that we always come to buy some necessities. And there is also another one called the King Kong Market, which is another giga market. You can buy a lot of different things inside, from dry, local produce, sea products as well. And also at the same time, it's very accessible to the beach as well, because this stretch of road is actually right alongside of the beach, the coastal line. So a lot of people actually stay here and can just walk maybe 5 minutes to go to the beach area. But the downside of this is that you can see it's relatively a little bit more chaotic. A lot of bikes, a lot of cars going on. So that's why we actually prefer staying in our own area, which is maybe 20 minutes away from town, which we'll show you later in this episode. It's a lot more chill and cozy. So yeah, let's head out to the next place.
And there was one time when we went to this beach because we thought like, wow, this is perfect place to stay, right? Here has everything, shopping mall, markets. And we went to the beach. There is a lot of people, but one problem, because here is a lot of markets and shops and hotels, so they're all kind of sewage from these hotels, they're going directly to the ocean. And we walk past and there is really smelly, and I general don't understand how people swimming there. And water, if you look closer, it's more darker color compared to that our area that we're staying in. So yeah. So this time we rent 2 bikes because Justin loved driving, I love driving. For bike we paid 3 million Vietnamese dong, just because we're staying here for 25 days. Otherwise, if per month it's around 3,500,000. I think it's really good price, and the person that we rent this, it's nearby airport, so it's so convenient, and also like he was so chill, and the bike is completely new and drives so super comfy.
Because Phu Quoc is quite a big island as well, so if you want to go to other places, either you have to hire a private driver or you can rent a scooter like this that is more flexible and can go to anywhere you want. And to be honest, because Phu Quoc in general, I would say, it is not as busy as some major Vietnamese city like Ho Chi Minh or Hanoi where the bike going crazily. So I think even if you're relatively new to bike riding, I think you'll still be able to manage the traffic here. Where are we going next?
Where?
Where?
You tell me.
You tell me.
You tell me.
Okay, we are going to temple, so we'll bring you along with us. Let's go. We have arrived to our next stop today, which is Phu Quoc Temple. This is actually one of the biggest temple complex in Phu Quoc, and it is so beautiful. Every time we come to Vietnam in particular, their temples are so grand. You see out the entrance already. Everything is in golden plates, beautiful statues everywhere.
Wow, I miss Vietnam. This kind of like an Asian atmosphere, big temples, Buddhist.
I think temples in Asia always hold a special place in my heart just because the architecture itself, it's so magnificent, especially if you look at like the corners, the edges, they're all like very pointy like this. It's a certain type of aesthetics, you know? And also everything is with so shiny gold plates. Always I feel like temples in Asia reminds me like a palace, like an ancient palace.
And this is a working temple, is it?
Yeah, it is a place of worship. And also they say here is actually, there's a retreat as well. I think some people actually even stay here to immerse themselves in this, meditate, immerse themselves in this environment as a place of worship. This is actually one of the biggest Buddhist monastery and temple. I love how all these statues, they all have different facial expressions. For example, this one, he was raising his arm and his face looks like he is kind of asking for something. And this one is looking up. This one is chill. I feel like the difference between this temple and the other temples that we've been is that the statues itself, they're very intricate and very detailed. We've actually been to other temples as well. So there's another temple called Su Moon Temple. That is the first temple that we've been. And there was this lying Buddha on top of the temple, which was like, wow. And also we went to another temple that is by the seaside with the goddess of the sea. So there are a lot of these like Buddhist temples across Phu Quoc, just because Vietnam, I think the main religion is Buddhism. So that's why there are a lot of these temples built across the island. And to be honest, all of them, I would say all of them is worth a visit.
All of them worth visit, but only in a cloudy day, because usually cloudy day you cannot go swim, so it's better go temple. But when it's so hot day, it's better to go to ocean. It's so hot.
because we're along the west coast just now, we actually came down to this, what they call the most beautiful beach in Phu Quoc. It's actually called Camp Beach, and it's situated in a luxury resort kind of beach. So it's not private, everyone can come in here still, but you can see it's busier and also beautiful palm trees everywhere. I love that there's so much shade here, palm trees. Wow.
Wow, so nice. Feels like you know the chocolate bounty?
No idea. Okay.
You don't know?
Oh,
the chocolate
I know,
bounty.
I
It's a
know.
tropical paradise. So it feels like we're in a bounty paradise.
As you can see, oh, sorry. As you can see, today we are wearing matching outfits. This is like a Hawaiian t-shirt that we feel like it fits the vibe, you know?
This is the most beautiful beach on whole Phu Quoc because the sand here is a white color, so that's why the water is looking more blue and everything feels just like a perfect place for just spend your holiday here.
Yeah, it's like a relaxation for your eyes now. Think of it, it's like take a photo and then it's like put on a wallpaper because see, the water is super blue, very saturated colors, and the green as well.
A few days ago, we actually already came here and we swam on this beach, and it was just amazing because the water on Phu Quoc, so warm. Water today really warm, like so warm. Like I'm ready to go deep right now, but I don't have a swimming dress. So now we actually plan to go to our area where we're staying. There is also a nice beach we will show you, and we're gonna swim there and enjoy. I can see my legs. Water here is so transparent. See? So clear.
Quick break from the video. I think one of the best things about traveling is being able to pick up a few phrases or words from every single country that you go. For me personally, that's always very interesting and fun to learn, but I also know how frustrating and hard it is to learn a new language. Especially for me because I grew up in Hong Kong where we mostly speak Cantonese and English. I remember before moving to Australia, my English was pretty terrible. It was until when I moved to Australia, I started communicating with locals face to face and had a lot of practice, then my English slowly improved. And that is why repetitive practice and daily conversation with locals or native speakers is the most effective way of learning a language, which is also why the sponsor of today's video, Preply, is probably the most effective online language learning platform out there. It connects you with tutors in over 50 languages and more than 100,000 tutors worldwide. So first you go to the website and choose the language you want to learn, and after that you can browse through the list of tutors on the website, and then after that you can watch an intro video and choose the tutor that best vibe with you. So instead of fixed computer programs, Preply focuses on real life conversation with native speakers, so you get instant feedback, motivation, and the lessons are tailored to your specific goals. You can also schedule classes around your schedule, so it's super flexible. So if you've been wanting to actually learn a new language, Preply is the most effective platform out there. We also have a special discount code to get 50% off your first class or trial lesson. Just use the code Justin and Alina 50. I'll leave the link in the description as usual. Now let's get back to the video. So we just came back to our neighborhood. So you can see here, there are lots of really strange European buildings, right? But this is actually kind of like the design of this neighborhood in general. So we are actually in this neighborhood called Waterfront, which is a very cozy hotel slash homestay area where you can see each individual of these buildings usually means one hotel or one homestays. So you can imagine how many blocks of hotels or homestays are in this area. But the perks of living in this area is that it's more far away from the town, so it's relatively more chill. You don't get a lot of busy traffic here, mostly just like, a few bikes. And so much greenery here. It's also a rather new area, so everything is modern facilities, a lot of food options here, and also it's very close to one of the night markets around here that we'll show you tonight. But then surrounding this waterfront homestay area are these luxury resorts sharing the same beach as well. So technically, there's no private beach or whatsoever because you can actually walk across to all the luxury hotel beaches still within this area.
And also here in this area, there is a big swimming pool, even like a few swimming pools inside. And everyone who's staying in this area, in any of these hotels, they can actually go and enjoy this beach.
So if you're staying in one of these hotels, you can just tell them your room number or show your room key, and then you can go in.
area, we're staying in a hotel, Carp Hotel. This is not promotion, I just want to share one fun fact. That when I booked this hotel, I booked for 25 days and the price was around like $400 for whole months, which is, I felt like, wow, that's so affordable, it's Vietnam, right? But after that, when it's become close to the date, suddenly this hotel started pricing up. And now this hotel is cost like 1 million Vietnamese, 1.5 million Vietnamese dong per day. So it's like $100 per day compared to our 20 bucks.
Yeah,
That's
we got it such a good
crazy.
deal.
Yeah, but honestly, like the room is not worth it for 100. I feel like it. So I'll quickly show you our room. Usually this is pretty messy, but the cleaner will come and clean our room every day. You can see she already put bed sheet and giving us fresh water every single day, which is really nice. So as I said, the room is pretty small, but it's cozy, comfy, and we have balcony that we can dry. One day my swimming dress fly away. Couldn't find it anymore.
But yeah, you can see it's a very cozy area. Even the balcony, just look at the courtyard here, it's so pretty because it's packed with greeneries everywhere. So guys, we've just made it to our beach. You can see it is very cozy here. Again, a lot of palm trees. It's so beautiful. And it's kind of like a promenade here that it's like long stretching, maybe until maybe 20 minutes later if you keep walking. And the beach here is much quieter compared to Camp Beach that we saw earlier.
You can see the sand here is a little bit darker color, more yellow. But anyway, the water is exactly the same and this beach is so clean.
I think personally, this is our favorite beach just because you can see it's completely not crowded here. There's so much space. Unlike other beaches, usually it's packed with people that you can't even have like a arm's length for swimming, but here there's so many places. And you see, even on these beaches, there's not really a lot of people either. We probably come to this beach like almost every single day. I can't lost count how many times we've come here already. But yeah, this is like a regular day here in Phu Quoc.
Because it's literally like 1 minute walk from our hotel.
Yeah, it's very chill. Let's go swim.
Well.
Washed up after the beach, and now is probably the favorite time of the day in Vietnam. You know why?
Time to eat.
No, because we're here to see the night market.
Time to eat.
And also to see the night market. But yes, Alina is right, because today we're actually going to be eating something really special. So you know Phu Quoc, right? It's famous for seafood, right? And you know who likes seafood, right?
You.
Me. So like what we're going to eat today, right? Seafood. You guys know I grew up in Hong Kong, so seafood for me is something that I eat a lot growing up. So I really appreciate when they cook well. So I have really high expectation coming to the coastal city of Phu Quoc, obviously. So we're gonna try some seafood today at night market. Just sit down at the restaurant, and the seafood restaurant is called 39K Seafood. It's funny because like other shops, right, they really try their best to sell you the seafood. It's like, come here, we've got a special deal. This place, no service.
We came, I look at him, I said like 2 people, he's like, what do you need?
But also apparently like this restaurant, you know, they have shuttle bus or shuttle to take you back to the hotel if you need.
What a service.
Yeah. But nevertheless, the reason we come to this place instead of other places, very often when you go to the night market, you'll see usually they lay all the seafood on like an ice bath, which sometimes there are safety concerns because like, you know, sometimes when they couldn't sell the seafood, or like maybe when the turnover is not that high, the seafood could get spoiled and then they will reuse it for next day. So that's a concern. But because these places, the turnover itself is really fast. So that's why usually the seafood is very fresh. And based on review, the food here is delicious.
Which one is best? Best.
Grilled garlic butter and with cheese, half cup.
Okay.
Okay, half half.
Yeah. Can we do 3 onion fat, 3 cheese?
Okay.
Half half.
Wow, that was hard. That was hard
Yeah.
to decide what we want to eat.
I know, I'm so indecisive. I technically want everything on the menu, so that's what's hardest for me, I think. Like, I want a shrimp, right? I want a scallop, I want a lobster, I want a snail, everything.
Okay, they already bring us our scallop. So we ordered, this one is with cheese, 3 piece, and this one with onion. So we want to try different one. Also, they bring us some veggie.
Water spinach with razor clam.
In Vietnam, you always need to tell no coriander. They even sometimes selling T-shirt. He has a sign like no coriander.
Yeah.
For people who always like come to restaurant, like first thing, no coriander.
Foreigners hate coriander.
But Vietnamese people love it.
Yep. I'll eat the cheese one. I have a feeling I would like the cheese one more. Maybe because I don't like onions. Chang.
The onions are yummy.
Really?
It's a fried onion on top. And it gives like a perfect texture.
I love
Oh,
seafood.
look at his face.
I love seafood. I've missed it so much. If you ever come to Vietnam, seriously, eat seafood. Even if you're allergic to seafood, eat seafood.
Oh, yum.
Yeah?
The soul is so yum.
Let's see. Onion one. I wonder which one is tastier.
This is tasty.
Still, the scallop.
With sauce tastier. Just because it's more juicy.
So next up, we have the water spinach, which is probably the most common veggie you eat at any restaurants in Vietnam. They always have this kind of veggie. I think it's also called morning glory. And this time we're stir frying with these razor clams.
I never tried this one. Looking okay, but I think it's gonna be tasty.
Yeah.
Tastes like calamari.
But tastier. So we ordered lobster, cooked in 2 ways. One is cheese, another is with garlic butter.
Wow, they do great service here. They are also cutting for you. This guy just now offered for us. So last time we eat oyster, it was in Vietnam, in Da Nang, and it was just amazing. So I'm expecting this one gonna be
If you see the footage from last time, my face was like, whoa, like this.
hey, lobster.
Oh yeah.
Very good. So soft. You dare to go to heaven?
Not yet, you finish this first, and then can go.
Then for cheese one. Hot.
So smooth, yeah?
Good texture. Where are you?
When you go to Vietnam night market, right, you find a lot of these like brands knockoff, for example, like Balenciaga, and there is like Nike, there's Patagonia brand, for example, like see, like this is like proper Patagonia brand, and when you feel the material, it's not like cheap material either. It's just I feel like a lot of big brands, they manufacture their clothing in Vietnam, so that's why Vietnamese people know the technique as well. And they are able to produce at a much lower price than they sell in the night market, which is basically equivalent to quality that you would get if you buy the retail shop.
Yeah, so for 1 t-shirt, they're charging 300,000 Vietnamese dong, and for 2 t-shirts, they're charging 500,000.
See? No face.
Yeah, and the quality is really good, just like original.
Good morning to another day here in Phu Quoc. So today we've actually driven for around 50 minutes to the very northern part of the island, And this area is actually pretty much dominated by the biggest company in Vietnam, if not the biggest. I think they're called VinPel. And along this land, they actually built a lot of different areas. For example, today, we're gonna explore the Grand Well, which is a massive entertainment and shopping district. Has this like European vibe. There's something special about it. We'll show you in a sec. So the other day, we actually went to VinWonders with Alina's mother. So the three of us actually started off with Adventure Park, which they have this like crazy roller coaster, and I mean really crazy. I think this is probably the scariest roller coaster that we have been in recent years. And after that, because you know, Phu Quoc is such a hot tropical island, then we went to the water park. In the water park, you do have to be careful just because in many water slides, they actually have a weight restrictions of I think 50 kilograms. In some slides, for example, I did one that is crazy because I want to say in Phu Quoc, VinWonders, insane. I personally did a slide that it's like a vertical drop, like literally vertical drop. After that, my butt and bones kind of just like hurts the whole night. But it was so amazing experience. So then after the water park, we went to the aquarium, which was packed with people to see a mermaid show. It was really cool. Basically, a bunch of people just free dive into the fish tank and say hello. And after that at night, there was this massive light projectile show on top of the castle. Think of this as Disneyland of Vietnam. So they also have their own castle and there is like projections onto the castle and a fire coming out from the water. It was really epic. So I think this is one of the best night shows we've seen as well. Nearby VinWonders, there's also VinSafari, which is basically a huge wildlife conservation park and safari experience on the Phu Quoc Island. Think of it like a mix between a zoo and an African-style safari, but done in a more modern theme park kind of way. Of course, you'll see a lot of different exotic animals, but I think the highlight for us was being able to interact with some of them very up close. As for the safari part, we got on a protected shuttle bus and it took us through an enclosed jungle-like area where animals like tigers, lions, giraffes, and rhinos walk around freely. And if you think about it, it's kind of funny because it's like the opposite of a zoo because we're inside and they are outside. It was really unique and nothing like we've ever seen. Wow, it's so cool. As soon as you walk through the entrance, you start seeing all these gondolas like you're in Venice, Italy. Also because all these European architecture surrounding this place as well. It feels like we teleported to Europe and everything is so colorful.
This feels so different to normal Vietnam.
Yeah, this doesn't feel like Vietnam. It feels like we're in Europe, in Italy or something. We haven't been able to.
Venice.
Exactly. We haven't been able to go to Italy because of the situation right now. But hopefully, like really hope if there's any European audience here, really hope one day we could visit you guys as well. Such a dream. But close enough, we're in Vietnam, and this looks more or less like, you know, Venice, I think. As we were walking around Grand World, one of the strangest and most random thing we came across was that there's a teddy bear museum. Same face. Same face.
What the fuck? This is literally like a Tutankhamun pharaoh in a teddy bear shape. That's a weird. Lol. Mona Lisa. What the fuck? We paid for 240. Vietnam is done.
This is the weirdest museum we've ever been to. That was probably the weirdest museum I've ever been in my life. So basically, it is a showcase of maybe like 100 to 200 or 300 or more teddy bears in different historical events or architecture.
Yeah, there's like Tutankhamun teddy bear. There's like some mummy museum,
There's like
Medusa teddy bear.
There's Aladdin teddy bear.
Like so many. And when I walked there, I was like, why did I pay 240,000 dong for this? Like, why? But at the end, we choose to get some present. So they offer us some toy or some keyring. So at the end, I choose a toy that I actually can paint. And I was sitting there for 35 minutes painting this labuba. And I think this is worth it. I feel like this was the best part of the day. Now look at this. Now I have pretty labuba.
You can see Granville at night, everything just comes more alive. Everything is light up right now with neon colors and all the shops are open. Also, there's a night market inside Granville as well that gets really busy and hectic. So overall at night, the atmosphere is actually more vibrant, I guess, more vibrant and colorful compared to daytime even. Also, the mosquitoes are more alive. I can feel them biting my legs. But with that, I think overall, Granville, the impression for me is that it's kind of like an open-air shopping mall. It's more commercialized, so the shops here are not particularly special, but I would say it's a really good place if you just want a day out, walking around, enjoying the European architecture. I think it's worth the experience, especially if you go on a gondola as well. So far in Phu Quoc, we've been to pretty much all around the island. We've been to the north, we've been to the east, we've been to the west. So what's remaining is the south, which apparently there is a very romantic town called the Sunset Town that people not only come for sunset, but also throughout the day, because here, the town is actually very strange when you came here. It, again, makes you feel like you're not in Vietnam, just because all the buildings here, they have this Italian Mediterranean vibe that reminds you of Europe summer. And they've got a bunch of really strange architecture that shouldn't be here, but they are here. Like, look at that. That's the London Big Bang Tower, clock tower. And then there's like a Colosseum just now, I flew drone, which like is a cable car station. And then there's like a bunch of really random architecture all in one place that really makes you feel like in Europe.
Also, people said this is Sunset Town. Usually it's a ghost town in the daytime. But honestly, how many times we're coming here in the daytime and at night, here is always a lot of people. And I feel like here is so much to do, so many things to do.
Yeah, so it's like a rather new, fun kind of town that just kind of revived. I'll tell you more why it's empty, why it was called a ghost town before. But Alina's going to be our guide today. Yes. Because Alina's been here more than me.
Because last time I came here with my mother and we walk around, so I'll show you everything. Let's go.
Okay. Alina guide. Oh, so many very interesting cafes here. Like if you go to another town, you almost never see this kind of like modern, very international style, because usually when you go to another town, it's always like Korean or Russian. You've got Indian chai. Chai wala.
Chai?
Yeah, it says masala chai.
Oh, we love masala chai.
Yeah. Things that you wouldn't imagine finding in Vietnam, but it's all in Phu Quoc in Sunset Town.
I can say that compared to the area that we're staying in, this area feels more alive, much more people. Everyone's like doing something, people walking. I like this area more than our area because here it feels much busy. Yeah, so many options for food compared to our area, just night market.
So when I did research about Sunset Town, they always say it's a ghost town just because they built all these like European architecture during COVID time, and when it's completed because of COVID, no one actually moved in. They expected a lot of people to move in and like buy all these buildings, hotels, homestays, but it ended up being really empty because no one decided to rent them. At the time, economy wasn't good, so it was like a ghost town during the day, and it was so hot. But it looks like
now it's much better.
Yeah, now it's like slowly reviving. So it's really good to see a lot of diversity here compared to some of the towns that we've been. They are more or less more repetitive. So yeah, this is like a different slice of Phu Quoc that we haven't seen. What country are we in? Greece, Italy, or where? This is Greek. This is Paris Cafe, Italian building. Anyway, I was gonna say, in Sunset Town, I think Sunset Town, I feel like it's built on top of a slope, so that's why connecting different avenues it's a lot of staircases. And luckily, some places they actually build escalators because this is a very hilly region. And for you to get to one place to another, it takes a lot of effort. So basically this Colosseum actually is a cable car station with cable cars linking to another island called Hon Thom, which apparently it is like a massive complex with water park and also some kind of roller coasters over there as well. So, but this is actually, they say, the longest sea crossing cable cars in the world. And it basically lasts for eternity to get there.
Looks so pretty.
Again, no need to go to Italy. Done. Alright guys, I think with sunset coming to an end, our vlog is also coming to an end. And I think overall, the experience in Phu Quoc is quite an interesting one. I've got mixed feelings. On one side, I really like the nature here, but on the other side, I also feel like it's very commercialized. So it's like a mixed feeling. You?
I just love that here is so warm ocean. This is my highlight of this island. It's so warm water that you don't even want to go out. So I think Phu Quoc is an amazing place. It's worth it to visit and it's worth it to spend your holiday here.
It's like the kind of place that you wanna really want to get away from the city and just enjoy the last bit of nature. So I think we're gonna go eat now. So many food here to eat, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oi, you damaged camera.
I kicked them.
Wait.
Sorry.